But because it seems like Africans and Middle Eastern migrants are the most hated worldwide, but mostly Africans, let us discuss why Africans migrate. Basically, the reason why Europe and America is so attractive to African migrants is because your governments have fucked up and are still fucking up our continent so much that we literally have no choice but to leave and look for better opportunities elsewhere. Your continent, your countries. Alright, so look, the truth of the matter is no one really wants to leave their home country. Alright, just the thought about leaving is already stressful as F. We don't want to, but we have to, because back home, we have no more opportunities. There are no more opportunities for us. Your government, the European Union or European countries, and America, in collaboration with our leaders, have taken all of our opportunities. We have no more opportunities. Your governments have given our leaders the powers to then mess up the economy for everyone but themselves. Look at Nigeria, for example, rich in oil, but every country that you go to today, there is a Nigerian. Why? Because that government is just extra messed up. Europe and America will still do business with the country because they are getting something out of it. The continent is giving, they keep taking, they don't say anything. So now there are no more opportunities and Africans are moving out of Africa in their numbers to go look for better opportunities in Europe and America. And like I said, the only opportunities that are left are then taken by our politicians, our leaders. They take those opportunities to make themselves rich. The richest people in Africa are politicians or people that are connected with politics. Why do you think that is? And nobody says anything. You don't say anything. No sanctions, no nothing. Basically, your governments go where they are not needed, but where they are needed, they are no show. Crazy if you ask me. And you question why you have like Africans coming to your countries in their numbers. So, why do Africans migrate? African migration is often driven by a complex interplay of the following factors: economic opportunities, conflict and violence, environmental factors, education, and family reunification. Economic opportunities. A primary motivation for African migration is the pursuit of improved economic prospects. Many African nations grapple with high unemployment rates, poverty, and limited access to resources, creating a challenging environment for individuals seeking to build a sustainable livelihood. This economic disparity drives a significant portion of the continent's population to seek opportunities beyond their home countries, especially as a significant number of opportunities in the form of money leaves the African continent on a regular basis. Africa faces significant economic outflows, particularly due to illicit financial flows. Annually, the continent loses an estimated $89 billion. That's about $270 per person in the US. This translates to approximately $1.7 billion per week leaving Africa. These outflows include money lost through corruption, tax evasion, and other illegal activities. This loss is substantial, considering it is double the amount of aid Africa receives from Western donor countries. The promise of economic stability and growth, coupled with the availability of jobs and higher wages, has led to substantial migration flows within Africa, with individuals from countries such as Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, and Kenya often relocating to more prosperous nations like South Africa. Additionally, the dream of a better life and the chance to build a successful future offered by developed economies has attracted African migrants to Europe and North America. These migrants often feel labor shortages in various sectors, contributing to the economies of their host countries, while also sending remittances back to their families and communities. Conflict and violence. Conflict and violence are primary drivers of global migration. Wars, political instability, and generalized violence force people to flee their homes in search of safety and security. Countries like South Sudan, Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo exemplify this, with millions displaced due to ongoing conflicts. These regions face a perfect storm of challenges: large-scale wars destroying infrastructure, political instability undermining governance, and widespread violence targeting civilians. The consequences are devastating, with entire communities uprooted and seeking refuge in neighboring countries or within their own borders. It's crucial to recognize that conflict-induced migration is often intertwined with other issues like poverty, environmental crises, and lack of opportunities. These factors amplify the vulnerability of affected populations and complicate their journeys in search of a better life. Environmental factors.
The biggest problem now facing the world is climate change.
Climate change, an existential threat to not only the environment, but to the economy.
We are on the verge of the abyss.
Climate change and environmental degradation are increasingly recognized as significant drivers of migration. The escalating frequency and intensity of natural disasters such as droughts, floods, and storms disrupt livelihoods, destroy homes, and compromise food security. These environmental challenges force people to abandon their traditional way of life and seek refuge in areas with more stable conditions. For example, the destruction of water for fishing and land for farming caused by oil spills in the Niger Delta has led to significant migration. The region's inhabitants, whose livelihoods depend heavily on these resources, have been forced to relocate both within and outside of Nigeria in search of alternative sources of income and survival. Education and family reunification. Education and family reunification are two significant factors contributing to African migration patterns. Education. The pursuit of higher education is a powerful motivator for many African students. Developed countries often offer advanced educational opportunities, research facilities, and professional networks that may be limited or inaccessible in their home countries. Consequently, a large number of African students seek to study abroad in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. This migration often leads to skilled labor migration, as many students remain in their host countries after completing their studies to pursue professional careers. Family reunification. Family ties play a crucial role in migration decisions. Once an individual successfully establishes themselves in a foreign country, they often seek to reunite with family members, such as spouses, children, and parents. Family reunification policies vary across countries, but they generally allow citizens and legal residents to bring their close relatives to join them. This family-based migration contributes to the growth of African diaspora communities in various parts of the world. Examples of migration flow. Intra-African migration. Increasingly, while much media attention focuses on Africans heading to Europe and America, the majority of African migrants actually move within the continent. Countries like South Africa, Kenya, and a few others are popular destinations due to their relatively stronger economies and perceived stability than most. For example, many people from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Malawi migrate to South Africa in search of better economic opportunities. Similarly, West African countries like Nigeria and Ghana see significant migration flows to neighboring countries such as Ivory Coast and Senegal, but also South Africa. And this is where we come across words like xenophobia and or Afrophobia.